Bum, bum. Good morning, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Somebody's Heroes. I'm Eric, I'm the Dungeon Master.
Hello, I am Sean. You can find me all across the internet at Help Action Needed, mostly on Instagram and Threads, but also kind of on Twitch and all over the place, honestly. And today I will be playing, well, it's a difficult question to truly answer, but the vignette of Sylvain and some of his past lives.
Fantastic. So, we're going to open up in the banquet hall of Castle Baldarak?
Close enough.
Baldarak. And normally the giant stone tables draped in the house colors of the kingdom are draped across and are in here to house feasts and events of all kinds. But today's a solemn day, so all of that has been removed. They're not even pushed off to the sides like they would for a dance. They are taken out entirely, which you know is a hell of a feat. And in the middle is a single stone coffin, surrounded by the royal family, high-ranking military officials, of which you yourself are one and got invited to. And there is a single priest who is actually a half-dragon, decked out in gold scale mail. And they're actually they have blue scales themselves, but they have gold scale mail to represent the gold dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And begins the ceremony by praying and to the metallic dragon gods, starting with Bahamut, of course, and then moving through the list of gold and silver and bronze and copper and all of them. And then he ends his prayer, looks up and blows breath, and the breath takes the draconic spirit form. He used the draconic spirit spell as it shrouds and wraps around the coffin, and he says, "And let no one disturb the dead." Now, I believe Apollo, was it?
Yes,
Apollo, you have a eulogy for Father O'Brien.
that is correct, yes. I have prepared a eulogy that can be read.
The podium is yours.
And
as he steps down and joins the crowd for Father Orion.
you would see approaching the podium a very tall, red-scaled dragonborn in clothing reflecting the architecture, the administration, and everything that is in Equichet, and especially here in the capital of Baldur Castle. There's black accents going along all of the sandstone colors, extreme plate mail, nothing draconic in origin as it's reserved for the clergy and their divine faith, but the closest you can come of natural other than the blessed dragon skin tides. And he walks up to the front holding an extremely large sword that is known to have been passed from generation of family members to generation to anyone deemed worthy, and shows that he's been gifted a sign of respect from the royal family themselves, and may indicate why he's here to present. And as he walks up, takes a moment to gather himself before beginning. Thank you to everyone, to all those gathered here today. It is with great honor that I was asked by the royal family to preside over the eulogy of Father Orion O'Shen. Father O'Shen was a great man who served the Church of Bahamut and the entire country of Equishay with grace, wisdom, and a sense of righteousness. Father O'Shen may have stepped away from the public eye in the past few years, but his guiding light has never left the hearts and minds of our people. Through his time in the clergy, Father O'Shen worked to not only lift the country up spiritually, but also to lift the face of the country towards the heavens, with beautiful monuments and temples to the various gods who continue to bless us every day. In times of great loss, it is common to question why tragedy is necessary to the world, and why the people we love need to move on. But in those times where we live in their shadows, we can watch with great hope as community gathers to raise someone new in their place. As we close this chapter of Father O'Shen's life, we look to the stars, knowing he shall soar eternal throughout the sky with the great dragons, and we look also into our own minds, to all the memories that we hold of him as a community. Many will remember him for his generous work with the peace talks between the denizens of our beloved Demon's Tail, and his ability to make everyone around him feel calm no matter the situation. Some will remember his joyful laugh, and the way he brightened up any room he entered into simply by being there. Others, who may have spent time with him at festivals or community dinners or any social gatherings, will remember him for his beautiful singing voice and the songs he wrote, songs that now lie dormant, waiting for the next generation to pick them up and make them their own. I was particularly lucky to develop a friendship with Orion these past few years and look back on the nights spent sharing a bottle of wine with friends, talking privately about his desires for Equishay after he's gone, or just getting his guidance when looking to potential military plans and to see how our neighbors may react to them. All of this may be behind us for now, but his influence is bound to be present for several generations to come. As the ceremony comes to an end and we prepare to lower the body into the caldera, allow us for a brief moment, a moment of silent reflection to remember those who have lost, those who came before, and those seeking help, including Ministrate Gerald Franklin, who has been missing for 2 weeks now. May Bahamut guide him back to us. And as we watch the stone casket sink into the volcanic depths below, returning the body to the earth, we also turn our eyes to the sparks of flame rising ever higher, carrying his soul to its place in the stars. Rest now, my friend, in flame eternal. And then bow and take a step back.
As you start to announce as we watch it descend, it actually begins to descend. And you see the flames lick up at this form like dust and little debris that would catch fire lands in the volcano, and people throw in roses and tokens of Father O'Shen as they miss him. They knew him for most of, if not all of their life, and just throwing in memories. And you just watch as they lick up and kiss each token, igniting it in flame. And as the floor reaches just above the caldera, it parts laterally and like swings open, lets the stone coffin drop and close right below it, and then it begins lifting back up. There's not a dry eye in the crowd at all, of any kind. There's a lot of people ugly crying. A lot of ugly crying going on, but you just see. And as this is happening, what is going on in Apollo's head? What is he thinking about? Who is he thinking about this process is actually happening?
The first thing Apollo would be thinking is, well, I suppose it gets easier each time. They cry a bit more, and means I've made some sort of impact these past few years. It's also that fun thing of mourning those inside. I mean, it's someone's funeral after all, and it's just a shame they needed to be out of the way for me to move up to the next position. You will surely be missed by somebody, Franklin, and then looking around, seeing all the dry eyes, thinking, I wonder what this life will do. I wonder what Apollo's story will be, and see where it will get written, and just taking a moment to see the story of a new beginning. Apollo as a person has been around for a year or two around this point. It would be strange for them to never have met, but he hasn't started carving his history yet, and is wondering what he'll do next with his part of the life.
Perfect. The crowd, all dressed in black and proper mourning materials, leave the castle, the temple, everything shuts its doors, blocking out all light, as would be appropriate for the next couple of days of proper mourning period for a high cardinal or something like that to actually be memorialized in the proper way after death has been confirmed and the burial has happened. You know what? Let's call it an incineration. After the incineration, it has happened. And as you go to leave, you're the last one out. You've done this before, just to make sure that no one messed with anything. As you leave, you enter the throne room. And up on the throne, not sitting on the throne, but rather inspecting it, you see a 7-foot tall, slender figure, cloaked in a black cloak with some gold trimming, and you see him walk around the back of the throne and tap it in that right way that the floor at the bottom of the stairs to get up to the throne opens. There's 5 people who know about that. You, of course, the king, the queen, and the princelings. And that's it.
Interesting. I'm afraid, friend, you've missed the morning hours, and I would appreciate if I could go find the family and have a moment alone with them.
You see the floor closes back up as he taps the button again. He walks around. He walks up to you. You can't see under his cloak. Like, even under the face, where you would normally be able to see something. You can't see, but you can feel like there's a smile.
Well, glad you're approaching this with a friendly demeanor.
Well, Ocean.
No, I'm sorry, I'm Apollo. Ocean was just buried, or incinerated.
I apologize for my oversight. You must be the young Ares.
This is interesting. Either you're much smarter, or much dumber than you look. As everyone knows, Ares is the late king. And as out of respect, there's not been another one named Ares in the Demon's South the past 100 years.
Aha. Good on you. Good on you, keeping your record clean. Keeping yourself safe and clear. This new form suits you well.
Thank you, though my record is clearly not clean enough if you're here. Mind jumping to the point, or are we going to dance around conversation for a while? I just had to bury myself, and it's been a rather long day.
Oh, of course. Let us go to the chamber of Alexius.
Intriguing. Lead the way.
And he leads you to a secret chamber that only Alexius knew about. And you didn't think anyone else knew. This is the chamber where you transform yourself and figure out your new image. So there is racks of clothing. You've got pictures of various figures throughout the continent and throughout the region that would be common enough that wouldn't cause question. This is where you do all your research for changing yourself and transforming your identity into your new self.
Well, I didn't think I'd need to be in here for another 30, 40, 80 years, depending how useful this one is. Hey, ask how you know of it. It's certainly not written down anywhere.
Naturally, it's not written. These secrets are mine and mine alone, aside from you.
Yes, quite literally, they are my secrets. So.
That is correct. However, I've been watching you for a long time. I watched as you and your kin stormed the shores and laid waste as you claimed Equesia. Yes. I apologize. Equesia for yourselves, and attempted to claim the entirety of the tale, only to be thwarted by the less desirable evil kin.
Well,
the demons,
just
the
call them
tieflings.
the annoying demons. They're less desirable, but they haven't thwarted the planet, it's just simply halted. There's a reason we're currently in a stage of war, or will be. That's the whole point of being a marshal around this time.
Of course, Commander.
So again, we're back to, why are you claiming my secrets for your own?
Oh no, I am sharing with you that I know them. To gain your trust, because I have a plan and I need more forward intervention than my current court of fools has. My one piece on the board is not powerful enough on his own, and a seat has been opened up for which I think you would be most fitting to join.
How interesting. I've been opening up seats I feel most fitting to join for years. Would you care to tell me more? I don't often get into arrangements I don't understand. That's your lesser fault.
Oh, of course. I would never venture to lead you astray. Aboard this fine court of information and power, tendrils and tethers have been weaved into every known community, with the more powerful and more potent people and entities of the continent having a seat at the Ravencourt. Ravencourt pops a memo for you.
Okay.
Back when you not first got here, but took on like your fourth form. You remember there was a Castle Ravencourt at the northern edge of the Zephyr Sea. That used to be, according to the history books, many different duchies and counties and kingdom, like small little micro kingdoms, right? until, about 800 years ago, when it became completely unified under a single, not king, not ruler, just a single castle. The castle had been there for eons before, but never before had the castle or any power within the now Ravencourt Isle maintained power for any length of time.
Well, an invitation to Al Ravencourt seems something you don't turn down. Not interested. I'm very much would again like to hear more what you have to say. You mentioned though that people have been taking their time. I don't have a lot of that because I'm on how much time I'm on, but this one's on 40 to 60 years. Is this something that I need to be aware of socially? I take it not, as we'd probably hear more, or is this something that I can kind of do as a side project?
Oh, naturally, it is periodic in nature and does not require complete attention. That is for the Lord of Ravencourt himself.
Okay. And why me? What do I add that you're missing? Because if I'm to fill a deficit, I want to make sure I know what the deficit is.
Of course. The closest thing I have is you know how to get into positions and get out of them without concern. You very much, I don't like to use the term, but it's the most appropriate I have at the moment, are a very good spy.
Thank you.
It took me this long to track you down.
Yeah. Just imagine if I didn't slip up somewhere. It would have taken longer.
Oh,
But
it wasn't a slip up of a per se nature. It was more I caught up to you.
fair
It
enough.
just took 600 years.
It's also quite smart of you to use the term spy. I've been many things. Been a priest, a fighter, a wizard, an instructor, a farmer. I've been it all. Very few have caught on to what I'm actually trying to do. So for that alone, I'm interested in your invitation.
Indeed. And he disappears in a burst of shadow, dropping a raven medallion. Just a small little token of a raven, wings flayed. It would make a very nice cloak pin to keep a cloak together.
I'll pick it up and look at it. Any symbol like that tends to give away one's purpose, and will stretch out an arm, and as he stretches it out, you can just see summoning from out of nowhere is a giant draconic wing with just stars and twilight and the void in between, and we'll just spin it around a couple of times until it starts glowing brightly from the speed, and just place it in the wing before shutting it down, knowing it's there. But if I'm to be a spy, why would I be outwardly showing what my allegiance is?
Fantastic. Anything else you wanted to do while you're in this sanctum of your primary body, your primary identity, the identity you came to Torsamil with?
While I'm here, probably take a moment to just brush up on a couple past lives. This figure may have said caught up with, but no one catches up unless you give them a trail to follow. And Apollo as he currently is, or Sylvain as he soon will be, take a couple of days to study every past life and figure out which one was enough to fool the world, but enough to still let someone find him. And I think while doing that is when Sylvain will wake up from a meditation, reflecting back on the day he got an invitation to what now is important, but is still a chore. It's part-time as promised, but it's also still something that he has to maintain, and the demon problem has not been dealt with in the past 150 whatever years. They're still there. The rest of it is all happening as it is, and will wake up from a moment of quiet reflection before reaching into his wing, pulling out that little thing, spinning it once again before fixing it to himself, because, well, you have to wear it to a meeting, even if it's dumb enough to give you away, and taking flight as he heads towards Isle Ravencourt.
Isle Ravencourt.
Yeah?
So that life, how long ago was Apollo's birth, for lack of a better term?
Apollo would have been born 154 years ago, and then he would have had a grand state funeral before giving away to Gemini, who is a tiefling of an androgynous sort. One, especially Apollo, couldn't get rid of himself so quickly, but Gemini does not need to be seen, and Gemini does not need to be public presenting, and they simply faded away after a while. No funeral for them, as far as we know. They're still out there some way. And they gave way to Sylvain, who's here now, 154 years after Orion's funeral.
On his way to yet another meeting of the Ravencourt. And that's where we're going to end this session.